the top of the Empire State Building.
Z100, New York.
To our Z100 Artist Interview Lounge. I'm Crystal Dulces. You've seen this spinoff on Netflix, and we're so excited to have the girls in from Selling the City. We have Abby, Eleonora, and Jordan. Hi, ladies.
Hi, thank you for having us.
The dream team.
It is a dream team. Not only that, it's so fun, like being a behind the scenes on the banter between them. Like they are already planning what tonight. I guess it's gonna be like a nasty night out. What is going on?
You know? Single gals take the city.
I know.
You know? Single in the
Abby's
city. That's
married,
gonna
but
be
like
the
both
spin-off.
Jordan and I had like dinners that we were like kind of looking forward to with, right?
Yeah,
kind of, like
very
with
much
guy,
looking forward to
not
it.
like just nice guys, and they both like kind of bailed or canceled or,
So it was gonna be-
rescheduled.
No, separate.
Just a coincidence.
She had a dinner with some guy. I had a dinner. I was like, okay, I won't I didn't go out last night so that I'd like look fresher today. And the idiot dropped the ball.
Girl, being single in the city, it is trifling out. It
Yeah.
is so hard
Yeah.
being single.
Well, you figured something out. You have a ring on that finger.
Girl, my man's in California. Like, I'm
Okay,
long
yeah.
distance.
That's
how it
the
works.
secret.
That's the secret. But no, I'm happy that you guys are figuring it out. So what is the plan when a guy bails? Are you gonna go out again, or are you like you're done?
I like want to make him miserable.
Okay.
I like revenge. I'm sorry. But like,
Mine's
just-
different. I feel like our
yeah.
situations are very different. Hers is like a guy that's been like trying to get her for a while. Mine, we were like kind of seeing each other.
Okay.
Agreed to take it slow, and then I don't know. For me, I ended things this morning just basically saying like, look, we're in it for two different things. I need consistency. I need effort, and that's just not you. So
Yeah. Are you? And then Abby, you're married,
I'm
so
married.
that's like
I'm the boring married one.
no, boring.
we're envious. We're very envious. They have a great relationship.
We do have a great relationship. He's my bestie.
Yeah.
He's so supportive. He's the best.
And how do you guys keep things fun out here in New York City, even though you're?
I mean, we still go out. We have a good time. We poke fun at each other. We laugh. We joke around. I mean, we still go out and get a little nasty out there.
And how do you want to balance having your marriage in the show?
Yeah, I mean, he was a part of it with me, and I think it was one of the most special parts about it. Like, I think maybe the Kardashians, someone said that they loved having all of their really just home videos for over the course of their life. So I feel like we have these little home video moments that we'll always be able to look back on.
Are there any moments from this season that you wish maybe you're like, oh, I wish that wasn't in there with him, or you were happy with how things turned out?
I was happy with it. I think people got to see us being goofy, just our normal selves. And I think it was a good season for me and Patrick, definitely.
Yeah. And Eleanor, what about you? What is gonna make it for a guy to be on the show with you? And
One, I mean, a guy, well, he'd first have to take me to dinner, and not cancel. So that would be step one. And then maybe a few more dinners, and then like maybe sex, and then, I don't know.
The order of operations.
Yeah, there's a long list of things before he ever got on a show. I don't know. I'm very upfront. Like I didn't hide, anything about like my personal or sex life on the show. I recognize that we're like doing a TV show, but there really was nothing like current to share, and there isn't anything now. But sure, if a guy was in my life, like of course I'd put it out there. I signed up for this now, so I think it's all fair game. I don't get the like separation. Like you can't do these shows and like, gatekeep half of your life.
yeah, have you seen a difference with dating now that the show is out and you're on TV? Have like people been hitting the DMs?
It's funny. I think I've gotten some girls in the DMs. I think like more women watch the show. So initially, no, but I would say there have been a few. There have been like there was one recently who presented himself as like a prospective client, and then when I went to meet him, he was a very eligible client, but also theoretically like a very eligible guy to date. So like, even though I didn't like his approach, like I don't like a bait and switch, but he's still like a guy that I should take pretty seriously.
We also
And that's
wanted
it. Like
listing,
I had
for
some
sure.
people from the past reach out. Yes, bitch, he is calling me. And who else? And then Yeah, and that's really it. I think like I'm waiting for all these guys to break up with the girls they've been holed up with all winter and who, they watch the show with like their girls, and then I think the weather gets nicer, they'll probably hit us up.
We'll be at finales outside.
I can't wait to witness this summer. This is gonna be fun.
And Jordan, what about you? You're kind of in a situationship.
She is out of the situationship as of this morning. So you see me kind of go through that breakup on the show. And so we broke up in, July, August.
Wow.
And so it's been like, my focus has been work.
Yeah.
It's been the show. It's been showing up for the team. It's been the healthiest breakup I've ever gone through.
Good.
So I think I'm finally at a point now where I'm like, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready to get back out there. Yeah. And 20 degrees doesn't help for sure. But when the weather gets better, we're outside.
Nothing sexy about 20 degrees.
No, we have to layer up.
Oh,
and
God.
We're just like freezing, hopping in and out.
Sucks.
But what do you think? I mean, Eleonora, have you had those instances where the lines got blurry with work and dating? Like, what does that look like?
Over the years, look, we talk about this on the show, but there's certainly a struggle about like being a woman in this business. And, so I actually always felt that it was a handicap that I wasn't married. I felt that like excluded me from certain circles or opportunities with my clients. Really sucks. Like some of my best clients who I feel really close and attached to, like go to dinners and go on vacations with other people I've introduced them to, but like exclude me because like they're like, you don't get it. Like you're not married. Like my wife is kind of uncomfortable. Like if I'm out at night and I see one of my male clients and I say, hi, how are you? And it's a totally like cordial platonic exchange, there could be another female at the restaurant who sees that, who's like texting his wife like your man, your husband. So it's actually always hurt me. I do wish that I had like a partner in the real estate space. I think being like single and childless as a woman is still very hard for men and people to process in this world, even if that is a choice. And it's very easy to sort of like discard or discount me or not give me like the same respect or access that they would like a male that they were doing business with.
I'm so happy that you speak on that because me too, and especially in a lot of us as women in our careers and being successful, we do feel like we have that struggle of what to focus on, and we try to do both. Exactly what we were saying. Sometimes your friends leave you out because you're not with someone, or maybe they just don't like your partner, or you're focusing too much on work and it's a threat to men in the industry. So Jordan, like, what do you think about that?
I've always, I think, skirted the line pretty well.
Okay.
I always play to the women. I play to the girlfriends, play to the wives.
Same.
Yeah. So I think that there's only so much you can do, though, right? There's only so much catering you can do to a relationship.
By the way, it's not the wives. I think the wives like appreciate honesty more than anything.
Yeah.
I think more often than not, it's like men. I know there's those like old Chris Rock jokes that like men just like lie about every little thing. Like when women lie, it's like big and drastic, but like men like lie if like you're like, where were you?
Literally
like at
anything.
the deli, like I got turkey, not cheese. Like why do you have to like? But I do think that it's like habitual, and that because like men do it anyway, then it like they do it in this instance when that it's like completely unnecessary.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we love seeing that you guys have been evolving and sharing even your background stories in selling the city. Abby, you came from like a southern town and now you're living in this big city. So do you ever use your southern twang in your sales pitches here in New York, or do you find that can sometimes be
Yes, Abby.
backfire?
Do you?
It's so funny you say that. So anytime I say y'all, Eleonora is like nudging me under the
I like want to leave the group chat when
when
I
I
say that.
say y'all.
And she does. And she does.
It makes her skin crawl. Look, like I can't help it. I try to correct myself sometimes and say, you guys, you can take the girl out of the South, but I guess you can't take the South out of the girl. I think in the beginning, when I first got into real estate, I really tried to take my accent away and try to fit in. And I thought that people would respect me more if I sounded like I'm from New York. And I think really what I've learned is people respect you the most when you're just authentically yourself. And if that means that there's a y'all and makes people look at me a little bit funny sometimes, and it's just the way that it is.
No, it is true. And also I feel like New Yorkers, we respect people that come here and are trying to make it in their own right, because even people like from New York City are probably from different boroughs. Like you never fully feel 100% accepted here, but when we see grit, when you see people working hard, when you see people trying to do the best they can and really appreciate the city, that's what I think matters the most. So have you seen
Abby's Southern, but like she's tough.
Yeah, I was
she's like
gonna
a
say
tough
that.
New York cookie. If you see her on the show, like I don't know, the Southern thing is like, shed pretty quickly. She like is very direct, call people's out. Like the manners are, they're there,
Yeah.
but like to a degree. When it's time to like get to the point, she drives us there, right?
Yeah, I'm not just gonna smile and it's
Yeah.
okay.
She's not a sugarcoater.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about it. I'm like blunt to a fault, I think sometimes.
And that's awesome. That's what you need. Like that is so great, and that's exactly why you're fitting in and doing so well in your space. And we also saw the situation with Jade and that tiff. That was tough to see, and we've all been there. So how is it now? Do you think that if you chatted over margaritas, you can like squish that, or how's it looking?
Look, I don't have any interest getting a margarita with the girl. I see her sometimes in corporate settings and we're always, polite to each other. I think that you can respect someone in the industry as a colleague that you work with on a show. And you don't have to be their friends or, necessarily like them, but you can still respect them and just keep that cordial working relationship.
Yeah. No, it's so true. We all, like I said, go through that. There's people we see in the hallways who are just like,
Ooh.
I'm a professional, and that's the word, because not everyone is always like that. But no, keeping your grace is really important. What a lot of people need to see. So I want to say thank you for keeping that, Abby. And Eleonora, we see that you closed a $75 million deal.
Yeah.
Insane.
I mean, things that people
I know.
dream and wish
Yeah.
of. So when that happened, who was your first call? How do you even celebrate something like that? Or
I didn't. It honestly, like, on to the next. It sort of just felt like another deal. I mean, you don't go into working with a client like anticipating or having a goal or target for a number. You really just want to find like the right apartment for them. Obviously, like, I knew that this was a big buyer. There comes a point where, like, I don't want to say budget isn't a concern, but like once you're at a north of $30 million, like usually there's not much of a difference, right, between 30 and 80 in terms of like someone's net worth and their ability to buy real estate. It's more at that point becomes a choice of like, I'd rather spend more money on boats or vacations or, a bigger home in Palm Beach and a smaller home in New York. But like the capacity and the ability to buy the home doesn't change. So it really was just like finding the right apartment. And I don't know. I mean, like, no, I've done, we'd like to talk about this number because it was a big number and it was exciting for New York at the time. But like, there are other really big and exciting deals that I do that like have even been more sentimental for me. So, it's just another one.
Heck yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see you guys hit those numbers too, because that's seeing,
Lord, please.
I know.
right? Yeah, seeing people so close to you and that have been mentoring you and working with you during your come up, hit these milestones. It's like you're like, dang, okay, like maybe I could do that too. So it's really cool seeing you do that in the space.
Yeah.
And
I think it was exciting for them when I like came back from the closing and like was just doing the paperwork. Like Giselle looked down and was like, wait, what is this?
Yeah. You kind of realize, whoa, that is something that actually can happen. And we're working with and learning from someone who just made it happen.
Yes.
There's also something to be said about how she spent a lot of this money, which wasn't on herself. It was literally on us and on this team and making this show come to fruition. So, I mean, that check came to all of us in some way.
Wow. Wow. And seeing that you're mentoring everyone, I mean, we also look up to people that have guided our success. We know that you worked with Steve Golds.
Yeah.
And that's a huge name in the business. So what is something that you feel like you've learned a lot working with him and you keep with you?
Steve is a good agent. He's a very well-respected agent. He was so gracious being on the show. I think like more than anything, Steve is extraordinarily measured. He's also accommodating. And look, he was on a TV show before any of us were, and he really never like let it get to his head. He always over the years, like no matter how many assistants or drivers he had, he responds to emails, he accommodates showings. Those are like the pillars that I stick to as well.
Yeah. Agent first, real estate reality star second.
Second, for sure.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how you took notes, and that's how you're kind of building your balancing for working, because being on TV is also a full-time job. I mean,
a job.
Getting up and doing that, and having that energy out.
Oh, yeah.
It's not easy.
No, we're learning that it's a job, but like it still very much is real estate, the team, that comes first, no matter what. Like this is sort of supporting marketing, and this is honestly, it's a platform for a lot of our clients, right? It's also like a way to showcase projects and buildings and collaborations, developments, things that are happening in New York.
And also we see that, Jordan, you're 1 foot in New York, 1 foot in LA, which is really cool. I I can see myself in that too. My family's on the West Coast, so I'm bouncing back and forth. It's hard.
It's hard. I wish they were just a little bit closer.
No.
You know, just a little closer. But we actually are going live today with a new, I guess, I don't know when this is launching, but are we not?
Oh, yeah.
A new listing, a $38 million listing in Beverly Hills. So it's nice to be able to kind of work that muscle there and bring the Eleanor Strugo and Co. team to the West Coast and kind of like nourish that side of things, and then still have work here and listings here, and finding the balance is going to be the fun part, I think, and being able to go back and forth and utilize both markets, because that buyer is in, you know, the buyer for that $38 million one could be a New Yorker and vice versa. So it's nice to be able to play both of those clients in both
I
markets.
actually got really excited. We just went to LA because we have this listing that's coming to market. So my Jordan's in my pocket because she actually is licensed in California. I don't have my license in that state yet. The house is great. I think it's like priced to sell, and just like being out there, going on tours, meeting the other agents, like I kind of feel like I'm better. No, I'm just kidding. But I feel like my work ethic, and like the systems that I've built and the level of accountability and the dedication to which that I have to work and the amount of time I'm willing to give to work is very different than that work ethic, you know, like that New York mindset. I don't know. It just felt like maybe uncomfortable for the way that they like sort of work and show there. So I don't know. I got a little excited. I was like, maybe we should be doing more of this. Like,
well, when people ask, like, they always ask, what do you like better, New York, LA? And the answer is never about the place. It's about like who I am in each place. And the me in New York is just such a harder worker. Like, you have to hustle out here. So to bring that mentality now back to LA real estate we're gonna crush.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's just the oars are different there, and
different.
how people work, exactly what you're saying, the pacing, the lingo, everything, how we dress here compared to over there. It's just different. So I see that too. And when you see those differences, I mean, which clients are more interesting to you, LA or New York?
They're the same client.
Yeah?
They're the same client usually, especially at like a certain price point. They want places in both locations. So they're the same client. It's more who you're working with on the other side of the deal. Like
I'll just say the one big difference for me with LA and New York clients is like, an LA client like can tell me they'll be there at 4:00 and show up at like 5:30, which is like, okay, no problem. It's still the client. I'll wait. But in New York, like if the elevator takes like too long to like come down so that we can see the apartment, they're like, I'm out of here. Like they're
there's
pressed
a sense
for
of
time.
urgency.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like it's so
New York
different.
clients also know the market a lot more than LA clients. They know the business. They're more nuanced in their information.
Like the LA business is the entertainment business.
Yeah.
So what they know is like what's happening in like Hollywood Reporter and Variety. Like that's the industry that controls that town. Here it's like real estate and finance. So that's what like most
know their
people
shit.
know. Most people who live in New York like are on Street Easy, like read Curbed. They care about this stuff.
Yeah. And it's also really inspiring, Jordan, to see that you're passionate about nonprofits and working against human trafficking. Why are those like important to you, like working with nonprofits? And
I just feel like, what's the point if we're not doing something to kind of give back? So I started a nonprofit during the pandemic called 12 Months of Giving, where we kind of went through, every month was a different cause, which was cool because I got to see like what some things work for some people, some things don't for others. For some people, it's animals. For some people, it's kids. For some people, it's breast cancer. You know, something is going to hit everyone. And so it was nice to kind of see my friends kind of filter into these things and get excited about things that give back rather than us like going for a drink, you know?
And people are down to help more when you know that it's for a good cause. That's what I've learned too. They're willing to give their time, give their resources, try to link you with other people.
Yeah, it's a nice world to be in for sure. And to bring that into like our real estate in some way is something that's important to me and something we'll discuss going forward. But it's a world I will end up in probably more full time than not in my older years.
Yeah. And then working with each other, what are some things that you learn just seeing every day, like Eleanor about Abby or Abby about Jordan?
Something new every
Something new every day.
I haven't slept last night. Ask them why.
I think it's really realizing that, we are all going to be different people, different personalities, different communication styles, and different ways of operating. And so the more time we spend together and work together, and we're learning those things and qualities about each other. And I think ultimately, what it comes down to is just our business and the ability to show up to work and get deals done and working together, I think proves to Eleonora that I think, that she can trust us in business. And that she made a good choice in putting us on her team.
No, I do. I trust everyone. Like, look, we have a trifecta system, right, of like calendars, emails, and a tracking system, right? So like as long as they like master those, then they're perfect members of this team, and like the business will come. And then what I provide for them is like meetings twice a week and mentorship and the infrastructure to like be their best selves and to brand themselves, not necessarily under like my umbrella, but to like be the women that they want to be. Conflict will occur, especially when you're working in like a tight-knit group of women that spend a lot of time together, who happen to be friends, who also socialize, who also go to like spa days together and, you know, things like that. I think that like what is nice about how we all manage conflict is that we very much do it in a linear fashion, and we like verbalize exactly what it was that upset us and somehow like reach a solution, and don't react in sort of any sort of manic way that theoretically could have consequences on other people. I think like all of our reactions really just like impact ourselves, and we keep it in, right?
Yeah.
For the most part.
For the most part.
I think we're all still learning how to fight with each other, or like resolve conflict with each other. But I think we do it way better than most people do.
I mean, we're
For
all
sure.
really, I think, comfortable when it comes to verbalizing our feelings, and maybe sometimes we may not always understand each other, but I think we can always respect the fact that we're always willing to kind of talk about it and work through it.
And then while you're doing that and you're filming the show and being who you are, were there any parts that didn't make the show that you felt like would have been really great to add to your guys' storylines?
Honestly, I think all we really wanted was a little bit more real estate, right? I think we can all agree on like a little bit more of the real estate scenes, but I don't think any of the juicy
there was a
parts
lot of
got
like
cut.
nice real estate scenes that unfortunately got cut. That would have been great. It also like wasn't a great time in the market, so like we weren't transacting as much. Like we were showing a lot of real estate. A lot of like the contracts getting signed and closings happened like later in the year, not when we were filming.
Oh, it's so
I know.
annoying.
Yeah,
I
which was
know.
like sort of, but like that just
It was
shows
such a
that it was
small
like
glimpse, right?
It was like
12
true,
weeks.
true to
Yeah, that's
form.
so-
I also like wish we could have been like more playful. Like I don't need the drama to be like she's a hoe or whatever. Like I think the better drama is like, oh, like did you like I don't mind the like banter about like the orange bags. Maybe it's because I wasn't taking it, but like yeah, like Abby could have laughed at me and said like you don't know if the copper like is gonna oxidize. Like I thought you know everything. Like I can handle that kind of stuff. Like it's not logia, it's loja. You know, like we should be able to like say those things, and that's fun and like lighthearted, and it's like a little bit back and forth. It's not that serious. Like if you're confident in your real estate ability, it's like not that serious to like poke a little here and poke a little there. I think Steve was really good at doing that with Justin. I didn't think it had to get that deep about like chasing clients. And remember, you know, that was just like it got heavy at times. Yeah.
And then we know that you guys are so passionate in real estate now, but were there any other ideas of what you guys wanted to do, maybe unexpected career paths that you would have considered, or did you always want to do real estate?
I wanted to be a therapist. That's what I went to college for. And my first job outside of school was working for this inpatient hospital of sorts for children with autism that had violent tendencies. And it was just a very intense and eye-opening experience. And I realized that I carried a lot of that with me. I might be a little bit too, as they know, emotional and like empathetic, maybe, where I take it home with me and I really like it affects me. So I realized that there are other ways to help people than to be in the therapy world. And I like to think of my clients, you know, having the psychology background definitely helps with that.
Yeah,
True.
absolutely does actually. Well, Jordan was like a pop star. She
yeah.
had a whole other life. She actually was like famous. I get all these messages like, "Is that Jordan from MySpace?"
Oh, the good
Like,
old
or
MySpace
that like
days.
girl, yeah, like famous Jordan from Japan. So like she did have a whole other career.
That's so true.
Yeah, real estate I kind of fell into,
Yeah.
but I'm glad. I'm
Yeah.
happy to be here. For
And
sure.
then I have a mentoring program for underprivileged high school students where we basically focus on like corporate and professional development. So like, you know, writing your resume, like preparing for college interviews, like everything except SAT prep, but just like sort of like life skills, networking, elevator pitches, things like that. So I love training and educational stuff. I also love it when it comes to real estate, which is like why we do a lot of these same courses in our team meetings. We don't just like review our tracking sheet. So hopefully like more mentorship opportunities to come will come up for me. And that's it. I
You're
used to like
great at
watch.
it.
Yeah, thank you. I
That's
used
really cool that you're giving back to the city in that way.
To, yeah, I mean, I grew up
She
here.
loves
That's
this city
this
so
is-
damn much.
This is the only
I
thing.
know.
She
I
loves her
wanna get
cat.
back
She loves the
for.
city.
I love the city. I do love
Oh
the
my
city.
gosh, I'm having such a problem with my cat just going everywhere these days, and I'm taking them to the vet over and over. It's hard to
Oh,
be a
no.
cat mom, isn't it?
Yeah, male cat
Yes.
going everywhere.
Yes.
Neutered.
Yes. All the bladder, all
Is
the
it?
cystitis.
Do you have a clear litter box,
I mean,
or is it covered? So like I've learned that cats get anxiety about like going to the bathroom.
yeah.
So like they need to feel like they're going to the bathroom in like an open, airy space.
Yeah.
So like the litter boxes that like cover them
Okay.
are not good. Like it gives them anxiety.
Gotcha.
And like
gotcha.
they don't want people watching, so it just has to be like in their own area, but like open, and the walls of the litter box need to be clear.
Okay. Okay. And
So and I think that helps.
do you have padding all over, like on your couch and stuff? Like
No, my cat like is good. my cat like
gosh, I'm
loves going to the
praying that
bathroom.
my cat will get back to
like
that.
in the right place, you know,
Okay,
and
yeah.
peeing and drinking and all
So
of that.
cute.
We need a
But
course.
yeah,
we need
okay,
a
we'll
cat
talk.
course.
Yeah, and I'll give you like there's a litter
Coming
that,
soon.
Like, was really, yeah, coming soon. Yeah, they have like anxiety about like peeing. Male cats have anxiety about peeing, so they hold it in, and that's like when the issues start.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's
So,
what's
tough.
going on.
Yeah.
Sorry, but back
Okay.
to
You learn
real
something
estate.
new every day.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Really.
Back to the real estate. It's fun seeing that you
Yeah.
guys work with these high-profile clients. Has there been any outrageous asks that you guys couldn't even believe? Thinking of your whole career in real estate, where you're just like, I can't believe this person like is not self-aware to even think to ask that.
The water,
What water?
the like filtered water. Was that recently at your listing?
I don't know.
I think she came through one of our listings.
Oh, the woman who's allergic to water?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. Who was that? Giselle's
No,
or yours?
I think she came through one of one.
Yeah,
of
a woman
ours
who's
and
like super allergic to water.
allergic to water.
And so was asking about like crazy water systems. I've had a client in LA. They're like one of my billionaire clients who always asks for like live rare animals. I've never delivered on
Where?
it, but in LA. They're
Like
do you
part
ask
like a
for
tiger.
that?
they have a home in Nebraska and they have like a farm, but like with giraffes and zebras and zonkies and all these things. And so when they would come to LA, they'd be like, "What are the chances we could get like a cool animal?" I'm like, "You can't. We're in Malibu. Like, what do you mean?" We probably could
Yeah,
figure it
that's-
out, but
no,
I was like, I
we
felt
can.
bad.
I think
But I
you
feel
can.
like that's
think
so
it's like
beyond
more
your
this-
jurisdiction.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like-
how
But we
do
do,
you-
but we do like a concierge service with our
do
clients.
everything.
Like
We
whatever
really
you
do.
need, we
we try
got
to be
you.
like, we want to be there. Like we want you to want us to use us. Like we
Yeah.
want you to be like, get us tables here. Like where should we do? You know, we want to advise you on every part of your life. It's a
a fun
long-term
part.
relationship. You know, we only get paid on the real estate stuff, but we still want to be there.
We want you to think
Yeah.
of us when anything to do with
I-
New York homes, apartments.
I had
like
a weird.
Going
I had a
out.
celebrity client who was like very weird about like the doormen in his building. Like he wanted to be able to like interview all the doormen and like know where they came from and make sure like they had like no mutual friends or they weren't gonna like talk. I was like, there's like 20 other people that live in the building. Like I don't think you can be like the sole decider on who the doormen are.
like wanted to vet them and like
Yeah, I
maybe
wanted to vet them.
rehire.
And I'm like, they all work here already. You can't like fire the door. You know, you can't like come in and buy the apartment and say like that doorman can't stay, but this one can. Like he didn't want any doorman from like the same city that he was from. It was weird.
It's kind of sus.
So how do you deal with that?
You tell him that's not realistic, and he's got to find something without a doorman. I mean, I can't deal with it.
It's got a townhouse.
But yeah, I've done some like crazy things for clients for sure over the years.
No,
I mean, like
what?
recently we had a client who like desperately wanted a padel court. I don't even want to say like how we ended up getting that done. I had
the
another
city.
client
a
who
padel court. Wait,
or
what is that?
paddle, whatever the.
Wait, what do you mean?
it's
They
like
like
that new
the
sports.
new
it's that new
pickleball.
sport.
Oh,
It's like
pickleball court.
it's not pickle.
It's
It's
different.
paddle.
Oh.
It's like
like the
sorry,
same but
it's higher
different, like-
end. It's higher end than pickle. It's
People are all
basically
about
for
it.
people who like love tennis but aren't that good, so they feel better about themselves by playing paddle. I have another client who like really like believes her like fortune teller and like was all about being like close to the earth. So we had to like go to like Central Park with her fortune teller and like meditate on these like numbers and like I don't know,
What?
just crazy stuff.
Whatever to get the deal
Yeah,
done. You
like
know?
whatever. I kind of worked. I kind of like agreed with him. I don't know. Yeah, it was weird.
Crazy. Oh my goodness. And it's so cool seeing your guys' journey, and we just want to say thank you so much for coming in and chatting about this. And it's really great seeing women in the fields just kicking it up and seeing boss
Thank you.
women
Hell yeah.
that are
Yeah.
such great mentors and giving back to the city. And we're just really excited to see maybe season 2, right?
I hope like
Here's
more
hoping.
people. I think they're gonna keep watching, but like more people should watch the show. It's like I think right now, like what other reality shows are out on Netflix right now? ours is like it, right? Watch Selling the City. I think if anyone like even isn't familiar with like the Selling franchise, it's a great way to like jump into it because you don't have to like go back 9 seasons. You can start with season 1 and like it's not, you don't need to compare it to the other real estate shows in New York. And also like for the last 3 years, like 4 years, you know, New York had a lot of cancellations in terms of like unscripted television, like $1 Million Listing didn't come back. Roni was on a big break. Like this is like now this new breed and new generation of like New York based shows. And I think it like authentically captured the city. I'm also a native New Yorker. So like there are many reasons why like the 8 million people that live here should get behind and actually support us. It's like for us, by us, please. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
It's-
Watch the show.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And
People like it surprisingly are like, oh, I don't usually watch these kind of shows, but like they're great. This was great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you. Thank
Everyone,
you.
make sure you watch Selling the City, and we can't wait to see season 2.
By the way,
What
the
else?
only city you can just call the city,
Period.
right?
And
That's
you
why.
know.
That's why
And
it's
you
not
know.
selling. Everyone's like, why isn't it selling New York or selling Manhattan? I'm like, because the city. Like, is there any other city that's the city?
Just the city.
No. Yeah.
Thank
Cool.
you guys.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back for season 2. Don't worry.
I hope so.
From the top of the Empire State Building.
Z100.